Hi my dear students, welcome back to Tungal online classes. In the last class we had discussed regarding restriction enzymes like exonuclease enzymes, endonuclease enzymes or restriction endonuclease enzymes also we had discussed, and as well as we discussed regarding palindromic sequence also. The restriction enzymes have the capacity to recognize one special sequence, a recognition sequence that is nothing but palindromic sequence. Okay. Next, in this session, I am going to start with how to separated these DNA fragments, separation and isolation of DNA fragments from the medium. So that is today lesson. Here further one technique is there in the biotechnology, that is gel electrophoresis, 5 mark question and very important for NEET exam also. Here gel is agarose gel is using, like agar gel one medium is using, and second electrophoresis, here electrical current is used to separation of this DNA fragments. Okay, let's write. Today's topic is separation and isolation of DNA fragments. By using a restriction endonuclease enzymes, where cut the DNA into fragments. Maybe you can say maybe they are in small in size, or maybe in a large in size, maybe 10 pieces or 1 pieces, or you can say 15 pieces like. Now we have to separate these fragments. So further we have one technique is there, such as gel electrophoresis. Here gel one medium is using, the gel is agar medium. It is semi-solid medium, semi-solid medium we are using. Electrophoresis. Here gel, here agar medium. Here electrophoresis means electrical current is used. So what is the principle of gel electrophoresis? Simple. The negatively charged DNA, which is with the negative charge to the DNA, PO4 minus as well as OH minus, they will give the negative charge to the DNA. So these negatively charged DNA molecules, they are going to move towards positively charged anode side with the help of electrical current through medium. So this is actually principle of gel electrophoresis. Let's write it. Negatively charged DNA molecule, or which is given the negative charge to the DNA, PO4 minus as well as OH minus. Negatively charged DNA move towards positive charge, like anode side by electrical current, by using of electrical current in agar medium or through agar medium. So this technique is first developed by Tesselus. It is first developed by Tesselus. Okay, let's see how it is going to work. So first what I have to do, so this is actually DNA, we are used a restriction endonuclease enzymes we are used. Now it is going to fragmented into maybe 3 or 4 pieces. Now these fragments are loaded at a negative side. Negative side is nothing but cathode side. Then what I have to do? Just apply the electrical current. So if you apply the electrical current, what will happen? It going to force the negative charged molecule towards the positive charge side. Now the negative charge DNA move positive side by forcing of electrical current. Okay, so this entire process is occurring where? Agarose gel. So then question is come, sir, why you are using agarose gel? Because agarose gel, agar gel, it is a semi-solid material. It leads some small pores. So these small pores are enough to movement of DNA molecules from negative side to positive side. Got the point or not? Agar medium, it is a semi-solid material. So it is lead small pores. These small pores are enough to movement of DNA molecules from negative side to positive side. Okay. So this movement is occurred in agar gel. The question is here what? Why we are using agar gel? Why not any other compounds? The first answer is it is a semi-solid and it lead small pores. So these pores are essential for traveling of DNA molecules. The pore size is nearly 100 to 300 nanometer size. So now this pore is enough to movement of DNA molecules from negative side to positive side. The density, or you can see the pore size, it is depend upon concentration of agar. Got the point or not? Let's see how the agar medium is going to be prepared. Very simple. Just take agar powder and you can drop it in water. We have to boil this for some more time. Later add some amount of salt. Now it is become as semi-solid material. It is agarose gel. What you have to do? It is agar powder. Just have to add to water and boil it and add some amount of salt. Now it is become as semi-solid agar gel is formed, which is obtained from seaweeds. It is a natural polymer. We are obtaining from seaweeds. Okay. Next, the movement. How is going to move? During the movement, what happened here? Which are large sized fragment, they move very slow in agar medium. Which are small sized fragments, they will move faster than larger. Simple. At the last, what happened? Which are large fragments that will settle near to the cathode? Which are small sized fragments that are moved towards or near to the anode? By this, these three fragments, or you can say 5 fragments, are separated according to their size. Got the point? Let's try it. Here, large size molecules are nothing but DNA. They will move slow, and a small size DNA fragment that will move faster than big size DNA. Here, now after separate, now fragments are separated. After separation of fragments in agar gel, we have to stain with the colors. Which color we have to use? Is ethidium bromide. We have to stain with the ethidium bromide or methyl blue. Okay. Then what happened? This ethidium bromide, which is give the color to the DNA fragments. Ethidium bromide, bright orange colored DNAs are formed. Bright orange colored fragments are formed. So these are, when we expose to the UV light, then only we can recognize these bright orange color bands. Because by normal visible light, we can't notice these bands. What have to do? After staining of ethyl bromide, we have to, or it is followed by UV light. Okay. Then what happened? We can notice bright orange color bands. We can notice that. Clear? So these bands we can't notice by using visible light. Okay. Now the bands are clearly visible on agarose medium. Now what we have to do? Just we are going to cut the agarose medium and just separated the fragments from agarose bed. The separation of DNA from agar gel is called elution. One more question. It is called as what? Elution. The separation of DNA fragments from agar bed, it is called as elution. Okay. Now what have to do? By using of ligase enzyme, so this fragment we are going to attach to the plasmid. It become as recombinant plasmid. So this is gel electrophoresis machine. Here, so these are the loading site 1, loading site 2, loading site 3 and loading site 4. So this is which side? Cathode side, and opposite electrical current is what? Anode side. Here, just notice in each and every loading site small chambers are there. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DNA fragments, and here 3 DNA, here 3, here 1, 2, 3, 4 fragments are there. Here these are DNA fragments. Now what we are supply the electrical current very easily. Then what happen? In each loading site is containing DNA fragments. According to their size, they are going to move towards anode region. Here for example, out of these 4, here we can notice the one fragment, here we can notice the one more fragment, here we notice the one DNA fragment. Same like here also, here one, and here, like in this third also. In this 5 is there here, like. So what we noticed here, what you noticed here, at the beginning here, this is the larger size DNA molecule. It is little bit small size. It is too small size. Which is small size that is moved to, it is near to the anode side. Which is big size, it is near to the cathode side. At the last, how we are going to separate the DNA's fragments? According to their size. According to the size, we are separate the DNA fragments. Okay, let's see here. From in this case here, one fragment here near to the cathode, and one fragment here, one fragment is top of the anode. It means it is containing less amount of nucleotide. It means this fragment is containing, for example, only 10 nucleotide is there, and this fragment is containing, for example, 20 nucleotides are there, and this fragment is containing nearly 50 nucleotides are there. Clear? So which is going to which is containing more nucleotides or more weight, that is not going to move fast through agar medium. Clear? So this is regarding gel electrophoresis. Now we have already learned regarding restriction endonuclease enzyme, how it is work, and also learned how DNA fragments are going to get separated by using of gel electrophoresis technique. We already learned. Now the task is preparation of one good selectable for transfer of genetic information from one cell to another cell. One good vector we have to prepare. For what? Cloning purpose. Let's see, cloning vector. Cloning, it means it is going to produce clones in host cell. It is going to produce clones in host cell. Vector means you know already. A vector which is useful for transfer of genetic information, from one cell to another cell, then which we can use like as vectors. Plasmid we can use as vectors. Bacteriophages also we can use as vectors. Plasmids as well as bacteriophages. The question is why? Why? Because these bacteriophages genome as well as plasmid double circular chromosome, which have the capacity to get double in host without involvement of host chromosome. Also, this bacteriophage genome as well as this plasmid get double easily. So for that we are using bacteriophages as well as plasmids. Let's write which are used: bacteriophages, as well as plasmids are used as vectors. Why? Because they can easily, or they can have the capability to get double in host cell without involvement of host genome. Okay, for that we are using here bacteriophages. Bacteriophage. Bacteriophage, it can produce high copy number in host cell, and plasmids, they can produce a copy number. Copy number means what here? Doubled number. How many times the information is doubled? The plasmids may be one time or two time copy number, and some plasmids have the capacity to produce more than 100 copy number also produced in host cell. Okay, write it. Bacteriophages, they produce high copy number in host cell, and plasmid, the copy number is sometime 1 or 2, and sometime they can maybe produce nearly 50 to 100 copies also may be formed in host cell. So that's why mostly we are using into plasmids are used as a vectors. What are the characters of vector? Like plasmids are present in cytoplasm. These are double-stranded circular DNA molecules and which have capacity to self-replicate. Replication mechanism is not controlled by bacterial genome. Okay, these are the point. So these plasmids are first discovered by Lederberg. Let's write the note. Plasmids are DS, means double stranded circular chromosome which are freely present in cytoplasm of bacteria, and which are also called as additional chromosomes or mini chromosomes or additional chromosome to the bacteria. And next, they have the capacity to self-replicate. It means they are independent. The activity, it is not controlled by bacterial genome. The activity is not controlled by bacteria genome. Okay, so these are actually characters of what? Plasmid. Next, the cloning vector. The cloning vector should be containing some characters. Then only we can use as a vector for recombination DNA technology. When we are using vector for cloning, it should be containing some following characters. What are the characters? Characters are, the first, it should be shown ORI site should be present. What is ORI site? Origin of replication. And second one is selectable marker gene should be present. Selectable marker genes should be present. And third one is cloning site should be present. First one is what? Worry site. Second one, selectable markers. Third one is cloning site. Let's see first one, ORS site. Any DNA, the replication of the DNA, it is always start from the one special sequence of the DNA that is called as ORI site or origin of replication. Then what we have to do? The donor DNA, nothing but desired DNA, we have to paste, we have to link it at origin of the plasmid. Then what happened? For example, the desired DNA is insulin gene. We are pasted in plasmid. Now the plasmid is going to double, like 100 times are going to get doubled. It means what? 100 plasmids are containing insulin. It means 100 genes are going to express the character and they produce insulin. Our product is the desired character is we gain nearly 100 times we are going to gain the desired product. Got the point or not? So that's why ORI site is compulsory. Let's write. The following characters are: first, ORI site should be present. Second one is selectable markers. And third one is clone site. This should be present. Okay. First one, right, regarding which one? ORI site is nothing but origin of replication. Origin of replication. The replication is always start from one special or unique sequence. Such a unique sequence is called as ORI site. It called as what? ORI site. The replication number, it means the plasmid is producing 2 copies or 50 to 100 copies. It is depend upon ORI site. The doubling of the double or replication, number of time of replication, or copy number of plasmid. The copy number of plasmid, it is depend or controlled by ORI site. Copy number of plasmid is controlled by ORI site. For example, you would like to recover nearly more than 100 clones you would like to recover. Then what you have to do? First we have to search which plasmid is going to allow the 100 copies in host cell. So in that plasmid we have to insert the desired gene. For example, if you recover 100 copies of desired gene or product. For that, what I have to do? We have to link which plasmid have the capacity to produce 100 copies. So here was those plasmid have capability to produce 100 copies. In that plasmid we have to link the desired gene. Clear? So this is regarding ORI site. And second one is selectable marker genes. Selectable markers. Here, selectable markers, it means beside the oocyte or addition of oocyte, selectable markers also must and should be present. Why? Because these selectable marker genes which useful to isolation or recognition of recombinant bacteria. So by using of these selectable markers, we can eliminate non-transformed cells, and we can allow to grow only transformed cells on the medium. So this is actually use of selectable markers. What the point? The selectable beside or addition of oocyte, selectable marker genes also should be present, which is useful for selection of transformed cells and also elimination of non-transformed cells. And it is allow the only recombinant DNA containing bacteria on the medium. Remaining which is not containing recombinant DNA bacteria, they are not going to grow on medium. So that is actually work of selectable markers. Let's write beside the oocyte, selectable markers also should be present. Why? Because so which are useful to select the transform cell. What is transform cell? It means we already prepared recombinant plasmid, we prepared, that is transferred to one host cell. Now that host cell we can call as what? Transformed cell. It means which is containing desired gene, nothing but R plasmid, that is called as transformed cell. Okay, selection of transformed cells and also elimination of non-transformed cell from the medium. So this is actually work of selectable markers. Clear? Next, third one is cloning site. Cloning site should be present. The question is here, how many cloning sites should be present, sir? Maybe one is enough or two is enough. How many cloning sites should be present in one plasmid? Cloning site should be only one or two. Cloning site is nothing but here cutting of DNA by using of restriction endonuclease enzyme. Okay, it means cloning site is nothing but a recognition site of REM. Simple. For example, this is a plasmid. In this plasmid here, so this is a cloning site. It means in this location we paste the donor DNA or nothing but desired DNA. It means what here? So this location is specific location that is recognized by REN. It can recognize. It can recognize which site? Special sequence. Nothing but it is called as recognition. recognition site. So this recognition site should be most probably 1 or 2 recognition site should be present. Then question is, sir, if more than 2 present, then what happen? For example, here one recognition sequence is there, here one recognition sequence, here one recognition sequence is there. Now I used a RUN. Now what happened? It going to cut the plasmid into fragment 1, fragment 2, fragment 3. Then it is difficulty to prepare the recombinant DNA, and it is very difficult to produce the clones also. When you if it have more than 2 recognition site, what happen? It going to form number of fragments. Number of fragments are going to form. So further, the first problem is we can't prepare our DNA. Recombinant DNA we can't prepare. Second problem is we can't produce clones. We can get the problem to multiply the clones. So that's why cloning site should be 1 or maybe 2. Okay. In NCERT, one diagram is given, that is PBr322 plasmid. PBr322 plasmid. It is very important. Actually, less information is covered in NCERT, but actually it is important for competition exam as well as theory also. And we said, not only we said, each that vector which is using for cloning, that should be containing 3 main regions. First one is Ori site, second one is selectable marker site, third one is cloning sites. Let's see, the first one is Ori site is there in PBr322 plasmid, and second these two are AMP as well as TER. AMP means ampicillin resistant site. TER means tetracycline resistant site. So these are resistant for ampicillin as well as tetracycline. Okay, and third one is what? Clone site, special clone sites. Clone site is nothing but what? A recognition site, which is recognized by endonuclease site. Here number of sites are there. Just count it: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 restriction endonuclease enzyme can recognize the special sequence. It means 8 special sequences are there. Okay, let's write it regarding PBr322 plasmid. Here P means plasmid. P means what? Plasmid. B as well as R, these are the scientist names. B means Bolivar. R means Rodriguez. And this number is 322 is the serial number of plasmid, the discovery number of plasmid. And this PBr plasmid, it is a artificial plasmid which are used as vector for rDNA technology. Okay, PBr322 plasmid is prepared in lab. It is artificial plasmid. In PBr322 plasmid, we can notice nearly 12 unique sequences. 12 unique sequences we can recognize. Here, restriction endonuclease enzymes are 8, and this is 9, 10, 11, and 12. Completely 12 special unique restriction sites we can notice in PBL322 plasmid. Let's write. Out of these 12, 8 are a restriction endonuclease enzyme. It means recognition site. Recognition site. We can use any one of the enzyme for cutting purpose. And two special sequences are for antibiotic resistance, which are also called as selectable markers. How many marker genes are there? One is AMPR. It means ampicillin resistance genes. Next one is TER. It means tetracycline resistant genes. 8 is recognition sequence and 2 are antibiotic resistant sites, and remaining two, one is ORI site, which is for a replication, and one more site is ROP sequence. The ROP sequence, which is involved for protein synthesis. Such proteins are involving in a replication of plasmid. ROP sequence, which is code for some proteins which are used in plasmid replication. Clear? So this is actually what PBR322 plasmid. Next, here the question is where we have to clone. What is the cloning site? Here the cloning site is always a recognition site. Recognition site is nothing but, for example, it is one recognition. This enzyme is going to recognize one special sequence, like here EcoR1. EcoR1, it can recognize one special sequence is like GAA-TTC. No other enzymes are going to recognize it. What the point? Simple. If you are using EcoR1 to cut the plasmid, same enzyme you have to use to cut the desired gene. Then only it is possible to paste. What the point or not? Simple. If you are using EcoR1 to cut the plasmid, same enzyme you have to use for cut the desired gene. Then it is very easy to stick with the help of ligase enzyme. Okay. Chalo.